What's up, everybody? This is Bill Mack here, another road edition of Talking with Bill Mack. Just a short little clip here for you tonight. I was riding along to pick up my Team B member, Bullet B, Brandon. He and I are going to hang out in a little bit tonight. Wanted to see how I hope everyone is doing well. I know it's been a little while, but I just decided to make a little clip tonight. A little subject come across as I was talking earlier today. It's about making decisions and, always thinking about the choices that you decide to, what choices you decide to make and, the consequences, as I've mentioned in previous videos, and, sometimes and when you make decisions, and the consequences of those things may have not been turn out like you had hoped, but then it's those little things that creep in, what I like to call regrets, and I'm pretty sure all of us have all done things a time or two, or chose a path, or made a decision or choice that we regretted doing, and you hope you could go back in time and tell yourself at that point, hey, I don't want you to make this decision, but as we can't do that. We can't go back in time, so all we can really do is try to just accept things as they are for what they are and just deal with the hand that we've all dealt, and I myself have been that way numerous times, and I'm pretty sure every one of us have been a time or two, and I myself have had regrets, especially I think one of my main focus of my regret would be relationship choices. Sometimes we all in life, think we may know what's best for us, and we don't really take time to think or plan thoroughly out or just try to take our time in pursuing relationships. We're so fast in this generation that we want to make choices so quickly, and we're just not thorough and as patient as we used to be. So it's just important for us to try and do the very best and make the best decisions, because it's those regrets that when things don't turn out right, just how bad of a damage that we have done to our lives, or just what things can be, because so many different things happen when we have regrets. People can turn out being hurt. The environment around you may change. You may lose people in your life on account of it. Just financial status, all these things. And that was really, to me, what my problem was in going with this, is just making sure that in life that we make decisions that we know, as far as relationships is concerned, in my case, that we know that this is what we want, and we know that this is going to be happy. Weigh all the options, pros and cons. This is stuff typically we know what to do, but do we really do it? Do we really take the time to write down the pros and cons of a certain situation? Do we let our heart sometimes get in the way of our head? Do we allow our heart to think for us rather than using the craftiness of our minds to really think about, the steps ahead and things that are potential that could happen later down the road, both good and both bad? So, it's not necessarily saying everything's good, but as we're talking about regrets, that can happen, and for me personally, I've had regrets about some decisions I've made in my life, but, I think one of my biggest ones was relationship choices. I've not made such a good decision, and I'm not ashamed to say this because it's a part of growing up, but just I realized that when it came to dating, I just did never make the best and wisest decisions and what was best for my best interest. It wasn't always just that have somebody in my life that I made the choices on what I did. I thought in my head I was making the smart move because I thought in my mind, hey, I'm a pretty smart guy. I know, I've did well in school and all this stuff, but when it comes to real life situations, real life common sense and things in the real world that don't require book sense, don't require thinking, on that level, that's where we can sometimes end up making the bad decisions and then having the regrets of them. And I think that's where it turned out with me to in this episode, is just trying to make sure that we, as I tell each and every one of you, and I hope that as I do these talking points, always, you never have regrets in what you do. And if you do have them, you just try to deal with them the best way you can. And like I said, and not trying to steer away from my personal self, I just really never made good decisions. And, you get hurt along the way. I mean, that's human nature. That's going to happen. I know I'm not the only one that's gotten hurt time after time. I'm sure a lot of you have, as individuals, have been hurt by decisions you've made with relationships. But it's really, a lot of times, it's those that feel like very, very deep daggers to the heart, to where you basically look what's going on and you see what's going on around you, and then you think and wonder, well, what would have happened if I'd have said this, or if I'd have changed and said that. But as I can't do that in my life, my past relationship, it was a rough one. I guess I have what sometimes people call that knight in shining armor syndrome, or the Superman syndrome. I'm bad for thinking I can help everyone, thinking I can save everyone, thinking I can do this and I can always do that. And the world is a place that I realize realistically that that's not going to happen. That can't always be the case. I can't save everyone. So what is it that I do is I just try to do the very best that I can. But in my regrets in making my decisions as far as like dating and things, I've been hurt many different ways by different people, and it has affected me along the way, but it also has wisened me up when it's come, each relationship that's come in my way, I've tried to be more wise in making a decision on what to do. But my last one, I would say that it's ended well over a year and a half ago, maybe a little bit longer. I've just didn't make the wisest decision, and here I am now looking back and out a year and a half or so later, and I see all the mistakes and things that by being in that relationship, while it did have a lot of things that were good, a lot of things that were rough ended afterwards to where I'm dealing with now. And I hope no one has to. But it's just trying to claw my way back, because it's like when a tornado comes, you can't stop it. It's going to come through. You don't know the damage it's going to create. You can't see that far ahead. All you can do is try to, after the effects, you try your best and just pick up the pieces and collect what you can and do the very best that you can. And that's what I'm doing now in my life, is I have moved on. I'm more of a person that is basically inclined to more or less to be to myself now. That pursuit of being in a relationship is no longer there. I don't know if it's just because of the relationship, because I gave my all, 110%, or, my love, all that I had to give. But it's the regrets of the things that in the relationship also that happened during the relationship that have affected the outward part of my relationship. And that's, financial status and everything, because I feel like I lost a lot. Not just family, not just friends, not just, things, even my sanity at some points. But it's also come to a fact that I feel like I lost a whole lot in that situation, and where there is good in that, mind you. Don't think I'm totally bashing my relationship, because I did learn some good things. I also went through a lot of rough times too, that really at the end of the day, that I'm by myself now, I look back and say, was it really worth it? And that's where I come into the situation to where I just kind of just think, was it really worth, even though obtaining the good, the knowledge that I did, but is it really worth going through all the rough times and things in life? And that's where the bottom line is. So, and that's what situations I look at. So if we go through life, let's make sure that we think about it and we take our time. The decisions that we make sure we try to make the very best situations that we possibly can, because nothing can change what happens to us but we can try to prevent it by listening and by trying to, listen and think really hard about what's going on in life, because when it comes down to us, the people that we hurt the most are ourselves when these situations come. So I hope maybe someone's got enough out of it. I hope, that we all think about it. And, this is Bill Mack here. Take care. Have a good one. And I will be back soon, hopefully with another video soon. So this is Bill Mack here, talking with Bill Mack, signing off.